I post 74 pieces of content every single week across multiple social media platforms. And that generates my business 20 to 30 sales calls a week. And the coolest part of this is that the majority of this comes from just 1 hour of writing every single morning, 5 days a week. And in this video, I want to show you the exact content creation system that I use to come up with endless amounts of high engaging content ideas, the system that I use to repurpose content across multiple platforms, and really how I'm able to focus to get more done in less time. Man, you're gonna love this video. I've had so much fun making this process, and I really hope it helps you as much as it's helped me. So let's not waste any time and let's go ahead and jump in. All right, guys, so I've got up this whimsical chart here, and we're gonna go over the entire system as a whole first. And what I'm gonna share here is just the number of posts that are happening on the different platforms. And then after I complete this, we'll go into the actual process of showing you the apps, the software, how I brainstorm, and even the process of how I repurpose this, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. You'll see that right here, this is where it all starts. It all starts on Twitter, okay? And that might surprise you because I only have like 200 followers on Twitter. I don't have a lot of followers. But the reason that I start with Twitter is because this is where I do a lot of my content research. I'll share with you how to do that later on in this video, but I really like it because I can research content and I can test ideas, okay? So what I'll do is I will make 4 to 5 Twitter posts a day. And I try to have at least one of those be a thread post, because a thread post is essentially, where you have got multiple posts that are connected, because those can be turned into carousel posts on Instagram. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, that is the content that does the best for me, is my carousel content. So I get to test the ideas on Twitter and threads and then repurpose those into carousel posts. It does magic for me. Okay. So I start with Twitter first, and from there, I will repost onto the Threads app. The reason I actually use Twitter is because it allows a scheduling feature. And as of right now, Threads does not. So I can actually go ahead and schedule out all in the morning, which I do every morning. I'll schedule out my Twitter posts and then they'll post. And then I will have to manually, my team does this, manually post onto Threads. And then what we do is at the end of the week is we look at our top performing thread posts. Okay, our thread posts are by far the best engaging. So let me just go ahead and pull it up now. And you guys can already see this is from 4 hours ago. It's already got 120 likes. Yesterday, 282 likes, 53 likes, 135, 162, and then 545. That's all just from one day of posting. One day. That's like well over 1,000 likes. And I'm just finding it's a lot easier for me to get a lot of reach and build an audience on Threads. So it's so freaking cool. But I post on Twitter first, again, because they have the scheduling feature and I can automate posts. Then once they're automated, our team will post the ones on Threads manually. And then we look back at Threads. So I look back at the full week and say, okay, which of these pieces of content did the best? I mean, this one did great. We'll probably repurpose that into some sort of post. Some of these ones, like this is a good one, 190, 144, 382. I'm looking for like outliers from that week. And then what I do with those outliers is I turn them into social media posts. I typically will actually just use them as like Twitter style posts. So let me pull up my Instagram real quick just to show you. All right, so I'm on my Instagram post. You can already see that some of these are just copy and pasted Twitter posts that I've just made on Instagram. And I'll do the same for either single standalone posts or I'll do them for like the threads, right? And that's been a huge part of my process. So if I posted 5 times a week here, right? And I'm posting 5 a day, that's 25 posts. So all I'm looking for really is just 5. On LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, I typically will just post 1 post a day, right? Pretty much that's it. I haven't seen like a lot of performance increase by posting more, so I don't. But with Threads and Twitter, I can post as many times as I want, right? So I test ideas here, I see what works, and I can just take them as a standalone image like this, or I can turn them into Reels. okay? And my content doesn't get the most amount of engagement and likes, but I will tell you that like this one here, let me just show this to you. So I'll get 57 likes on these, but then I'll get 90 saves, or 9 shares. And I'm really shooting for, with these carousels, I'm shooting for more saves or shares. That means that it resonated enough that someone wants to come back and revisit it. Okay, so like this one did pretty decent. 102 likes, 126 saves. Okay, so I'll post them on here. Some of them I'll turn to reels, but a lot of them I'll just like copy and paste because it's just easier for me, right? I'm all about efficiency, and I found that just by posting, and I'll show you the platform that we use to repurpose that in a second, but I just essentially copy and paste them on these platforms. I schedule them out, and boom, they're ready to go by Sunday, okay? And then the 2 YouTube videos, I'll often use one of the best performing threads. So if I come in here, and let's say, this is a great one actually I could do a YouTube video on, right? So this one is business advice that might surprise you. The more services you offer, the less money you make. You only need 3 services or 3 offers to hit 7 figures, right? And I've got like point 1, lead magnet, point 2, core offer, point 3, back-end offer. Easily, I could make this into a YouTube video, right? Where I have a hook, I've got, my 3 points, I walk over them, I give examples of them, and then from there, I'll transition into a call to action, right? But you can see I'm looking for stuff that's already proven versus me going to, the drawing board or an empty Google Doc and just starting to write content. I'm pulling it from things that have already performed well, ideas that have already hit, and repurpose them over into these platforms. It has been a total game changer for me. It becomes so much easier. So all I do, and like I shared at the beginning, is I will sit down and write for 30 to 60 minutes. Essentially however long it takes me to get 4 to 5 posts done, okay? I'll show you the tools I use and how I generate ideas for all that in a second, but I just do that. I see what works, turn into posts, and just repeat that cycle, okay? So now, once I've posted those 2 YouTube videos, I then make more posts that promote those YouTube videos, okay? So I send 2 emails a week, and they are the most simple emails ever. Let me just pull one up for you real quick to show you how simple it is. So here is the sample email. Look how simple this is. Matt, I just posted a YouTube video showing you how to make more sales in the DMs without being salesy or creepy. It goes over the 7 lessons that I learned after making 7 figures from Instagram's DM feature. I've even included a new send and unsend strategy that's been helping us book an additional 2 calls a day. Watch it now. The easiest email in the world. Now, after sending that email that you just saw and posting about it, which I just post, I essentially will just copy and paste that same exact email into a post. Let me show that to you. All right, so here it is. You can already see it. I just posted a YouTube video, legit copied and pasted the same thing, right? I posted it here, and I also did this. Let me pull back over here. I did it on Facebook, I did it on LinkedIn, and I also will promote it as an Instagram story. And I essentially say the same thing, okay? I try to repurpose content I've already created, but just by doing this increased the amount of people that watch the YouTube video by about 100 people, okay? I don't have a ton of YouTube subscribers either. And that's pretty much how I grow my YouTube, right? So I make threads posts, see what works, turn it into a YouTube video, and then I just post about it, right? I post about it. I use the same one, copy and paste it everywhere, driving more people to the YouTube channel. In all, with these plus stories, this adds up to about 74 pieces of content that we post across multiple channels every single week. And it just comes back to me writing here every single morning. So let me show you now the software that I use and the automations that I use to make all of this stuff work. Okay, so first we're gonna start with Twitter. I use an app called Hype Fury. So right now it's loading. And if you guys have seen some of my older videos, I was using Tweet Hunter. I started to not like it as much. So I actually moved to Hype Fury this past month, and I'm actually liking it a lot better. So you can already see this is kind of the inside of what this dashboard looks like. And my queue, I've already got posts lined up or tweets lined up for today. And it'll also retweet your stuff. If you get 2 likes on a post, which is what I do because I don't have a big Twitter following, it'll just repost an old one. I'm pretty sure I have a free version. I might have a paid version, but honestly, it's so, it's maybe 20, 30 bucks, but it saves me so much time. Okay. Cause every morning I come in here and this, you can already see my queue, but let me go ahead and just push create. When I push create, it'll already automatically pull like past tweets I've made. So if I don't feel like posting a new one or writing a new one, I can just use a different one. And I can just keep, scrolling through to see which one that I like. And I can automatically just go ahead and push schedule for a free slot, which essentially I have my 5 spots that I post today, or I could just post it now, right? And it's that simple. Now, if I wanted to write a new one, I can just, exit out of this, and then I can come over here and click this inspiration button. When I click this, inside of here, there are templates. So these are kind of like the templates in here are more of like the one-hit wonders, like they're really short, right? Kind of like Alex Hormozy, like just blunt and straightforward. It's got a lot of those, and I can just use any of these. There's so many, right? You're just going to see this. There's so many versions for me to create, which is awesome. Or I can use other existing ones. So I could turn off templates and go, I want to just find marketing content. And then there's other stuff that's done really well, and I can reuse some of those for ideas and package them into my own way, right? I don't ever want to copy and paste any of this, but the ideas, great. The hooks, great. Because a lot of times, this is, just for examples, that says digital marketing hack. I could easily change this out if I like that hook and say, Instagram hack or social media hack or content creation hack, right? So I can still use the same type of format, but then I can just I can change some things out based off of my audience, my offer, etc. Right? And then same thing here. I would just write this in my own words and probably spin it just a little bit, right? But it gives me so many ideas, right? So I honestly use a lot of this for format. I really like things that look aesthetic for Twitter and Threads. So that's a lot of what I'm looking for, right? There's also make money online. There's entrepreneurship. There's sales. There's writing. There's so many things, and even thread hooks. So if I'm going to write a thread, which is going to be a carousel, here's all of the carousel ones that they have in here that are recommended. And there's just so many. And this even says shuffle. I don't know if I get brand new ones, if I shuffle, but there's probably a pretty high likelihood that I would. Okay. So all of these are here, right? Even my best tweets I can pull from here, and it'll show me ones that have done well for me in the past. I can repurpose it, retweet it. It's just an awesome platform. Okay. So really awesome platform. And another thing that's in here, we'll push reuse tweet. So if you guys have seen my Instagram posts, I can also just click on this button here, Instagram, and boom, there's already my Instagram post. Okay. And I could write my caption here for Instagram. And if I push schedule, what this will do is this will email me this exact post. Already done. Isn't that freaking awesome? The only, I'd say the only downside is that at least from what I've seen, is if I have a thread, so like a carousel, I haven't been able to pull that over as well. So what we've been using, and I put this in my last video too, is we'll use a software called TweetPic, okay? And with TweetPic, I can just copy and paste the link to the Twitter post. So let me just take one real quick. Let's use this one here. Okay, I will click it. We're gonna go here, copy link, and then I can come over to Tweet Hunter or TweetPic and push enter, and then push screenshot. And then what it will do, all right, let's go here. I might have to post the Twitter post individually because that was just the first one. Yeah, so that was first slide. Then I can come to the next slide, copy link, come back over here, next one, right? And I could just keep doing that for all the carousels that I wanted. And it might be lagging on me right now. But essentially what that'll do, let's just imagine they are all there. I could click that. I could then update this to look the way that I want it to. So for me, I use the lights out version typically, right? It's a little bit darker, and I can change my colors. I can do all that fun stuff. I'll probably have the primary text be a little bit whiter, right? And then if I like it, great. I just come down and I can download it. Okay. So we'll go back and forth between the stuff that it just gives us in Hype Fury and then Tweet Hunter. This version of it is free. I used to have a paid version, and it might be the reason why it's not pulling all the thread posts at once, but awesome platform. It just really streamlines everything, right? So once I've made that post on Twitter and we've decided at the end of the week which ones we want to use, we'll just take these images, right? And then we use later to schedule all of those pieces of content. And the cool part, what I have, because I have a bigger team, my team does all this. Okay, this is the cool part. It's like I legit come into Hype Fury and I write all of my Twitter posts for the week. They go and they're posted on Twitter. And then right after that, once they're posted on Twitter, I use a software called Zapier to email my VAs to post on threads. So they go on the threads, they make that post, boom, done. Okay. And then at the end of the week, we typically do this on Friday, I have another team member who will go through all of my thread posts. Okay. So they'll go through threads and they're looking for those outliers. Okay. And they'll send me a list of all the screenshots of all the outliers. And they say, hey, which of these do you want to make into Instagram posts or LinkedIn posts or whatever? And I'll give them a list. Hey, I want you to make all of these into posts. Then they go do that using, again, Hype Fury, or they'll use TweetPic, and then they'll upload those to later. So you can already see I've got a lot in here. I probably have a pretty big library of Twitter posts, and there's even more that are being made. And I've got quite a few that are already scheduled out for this week and next week. So they're already all scheduled out, okay? So this thing saves me so much time, and I've built a process around my team helping me with this, right? So I make the posts in the morning, right? My VAs post it on threads. Another team member comes in, they make the post, they move them over to later. They'll write the captions for me to start. And then what I'll do is every single Sunday, I come in here and just review them. I review them, make sure that they look good. And I'll often will change out some of the captions in here to be just to sound more like me. Okay. And then once that's done, I post them all at 9 a.m. So all of my posts, I typically primarily post on Instagram. And then I will just copy and paste that same exact post onto LinkedIn, copy and paste that same exact post onto YouTube. And the YouTube video is a little bit different. So I'll hit on that in a second. But that's my entire process when it comes to creating short form content or even mid form content. I think carousels and threads are kind of more of a mid form, not like a long form content. Now, with long form content, I do want to hit on this because this is a little bit different for me. I block off, I'll pull up my calendar real quick. I block off Tuesday afternoons to film my long form contents pieces, okay? So other than that, like I just write threads in the morning and post at 9 a.m. Even like some of these will promote YouTube videos. So that's the second post that I'll do. And then I just block off in afternoon, essentially to record YouTube videos. Okay. And my team, I have great systems. My team will review the YouTube videos once they're sent out. So someone edits them for me. Someone sends it back to my team. They will then review that edited piece of content and ask for more feedback if needed. Okay. If it's good, they'll say, hey, it's good. Thumbnail looks good. Thank you. So I also want to emphasize, like, if you guys have noticed in this video, how much I really rely on my team. I really rely on my team to help me with this. There's no way that I could post 74 pieces of content and edit them all myself, right? It's just out of the cards. So that's the process that we use. One thing I want to share this too, just because I know there's some business owners listening. Oh, how do I do this? Like, how do I pay my people? What does that look like? We have a YouTube agency that edits our videos like this, and we pay them $1,000 a month for 2 videos a week. Okay, that's what we pay them. I have a marketing assistant. That's the person who's coming in here, who's pulling the threads saying, hey, Matt, which of these should we use? She makes them in TweetPic or takes them from Hype Fury, plugs them into Later and schedules them for me. And she's the person that's in between the YouTube agency and us scheduling it. She scheduled those too. And I pay her $1,000 a month for that task. Okay, so in total, I've got $1,000 for editing to YouTube, $1,000 going to a employee who's kind of more project manager role. And then we also have a short form editor, and we typically pay the short form editor. That's for people like the reels and stuff like that. Those are like $30 a video. So, in total, I think this month we'll probably spend like $450 on like short form edits. So in total, we're looking at like $2,500 or so a month that we spend on content, which is really a small amount if I look at it, right? Because our business does around $100,000 a month right now. So that's less than, it's 2.5% of our revenue goes back into content creation. Okay, it's pretty small. Most of our money right now does go back into paid ads because that allows us to build a bigger brand. And our content, which is all of this, nurtures the new people that we bring in from ads. Okay, we drive ads primarily on Instagram, and they're nurtured with all of this content because they also give us their email address. So they're going to get the emails and see the Instagram stories for the YouTube videos, etc. So our goal is to use content as the nurture platform. And we do that by posting everywhere. And all the new followers that we do get and emails that we get from leads, we push to the other platforms so that we can have that omnipresence and be everywhere all the time. Cool? So that's my process and system. I want to share it with you guys because I know that content is an area that a lot of people struggle in. And I was that same way. I used to hate recording videos, making content. And, this system for me has helped me a lot because what I've realized is that I like to write. I like Twitter. I like threads. I like to write posts, and I like longer form stuff like this YouTube video. This is fun, right? This is totally off script. I just get to push record and show you some cool stuff. And I like that, right? So this strategy allows me to really step in and leverage my skill set, which is writing and long form. And then I can use my system brain to have other people help me with this entire process of repurposing, repackaging, posting, all that fun stuff. All right, so that's all we got for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.